Yeah! Alright. Alright. Let's get it. Fuck. Okay. So, I was thinking about this concept for the past couple days or so. Obviously, as you can see in the title, whatever that's gonna be, honestly, because I don't know. But I've been I saw a video recently, and if any of you guys are curious, I'm gonna link it below. It's called How to Destroy Self-Doubt by Elliot Hulse. Those of y'all who know me know I love watching Elliot Hulse. Just especially his older content. It's really why I have the ideas that I have and all that, but I'm not gonna get into that. But essentially, he was talking about how to destroy self-doubt. I was like, you know what, this is something I've been struggling with, especially with YouTube and whatnot. Let's see what he has to say, because I could probably use this. So, I watched the video, and there's this one part, man, and it was really sticking with me the whole time. And he was saying, success isn't doing the right thing, and it definitely isn't doing the right thing the first time. Success is the progressive realization of the vision, basically. I forgot how he ended that off, but that's basically what he said. And that really stuck with me, especially with this whole idea of plans and planning that I've been regarding, especially me. You know, I've been thinking about my plan and how my plan after graduation pretty much fell apart, and how this new plan I'm coming up with seems to already be falling apart, and how this next plan I'm going to try and start up, maybe this is going to be the plan that works out, right? And I'm trying all these things to get all these plans, and I'm realizing that it's bringing me back to a quote, actually, that everyone knows this probably if you're familiar with Mike Tyson at all. Everyone's got a plan till they get hit in the mouth. And that's just the honest truth. And at first, man, I thought that used to mean, I took it as in, you know, people who aren't used to the punches of life, people who aren't used to shit collapsing on them, give in too easy, and that's why their plan fails. Now I'm looking at it in a much different light, and I'm starting to realize a plan sounds good on paper, but when you get out here in the real world, you have no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea the setbacks, the opportunities. You don't have jack shit. You don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And a lot of us come out with this promised idea and visualization of how something is supposed to go, right? 4 years college degree, get in, career, boom, right? Not that I'm knocking college, I'm just giving an example. One of my examples of a plan. You know, I want to be a filmmaker, but, you know, I want to get my own place, and in order to get the money to get my own place, I'm going to work a little job for a little bit, save up some money. Then I'm going to go to school, and I'm going to learn auto body, so that way I can have a career a little bit going in auto body, so that way, while I'm making good money in auto body, then I'll go do the film thing, once I have some security in my income, and making money and stuff like that. And, you know, what you ultimately find is that, well, what I ultimately find is life is going to hit you, and life is unpredictable, and this plan will fall apart. And that's what I've learned about every single plan. Every plan will fall apart. And when we do plan out a certain path that we have to walk along for something to turn out a certain way, what I've also learned is that it never fucking goes like that. Everyone's got a visualization of how it's supposed to look and how it's supposed to go, and if we do what we're supposed to, it's going to turn and map out exactly like that. But the reality is, you don't know the plans of the other world, you don't know the plans of the guy next to you, you don't know what God's got planned, you don't know. And I'll tell you what, you definitely are not going to resist his plan. Or God, universe, whatever you want it. But the higher power, man, I promise you, whatever he's got planned for you surpasses. And I don't mean that your plan and vision is insignificant, but just in that sense that if you honestly think that you're going to resist and fight the plan of something that already has promised your destiny in a way, or already knows the path at which he wants to take you, I mean, is that really a battle you want to fight? You'll see how that turns out for yourself. So, I know I'm going to ramble a bit here in this video, and that's just how I do it, but the big thing that I really got thinking about with plans is that I've came to the realization with myself is that there's nothing wrong with going in with a plan. All right, if you're part of a military team, if you're part of a firefighting unit or whatever, I'm sure that there's guidelines. There's a way to approach it. There's a game plan going into it, right? Football teams, we got a game plan going in. But the reality is once we're on the battlefield, once we're doing the fucking thing, anything can change. Anything can shift. And that's the reality. And what we thought would map out might not map out the exact way we pictured it to. Because, well, God forbid, but let's say, your girlfriend breaks up with you. Let's say that, you get fired from your job. Now you're not making money, and now you're stuck in a house in a situation. Maybe there's a death in the family. I mean, there's so many things that could collapse. I mean, I could literally put list after list after list of many different things. Taking this from actually a friend of mine who I recently met. Snaps his fucking ankle in half. His plan to football. How does that go? Right? The plan. The thing is, I spoke with someone the other day. I said we all have a plan and we all have an envisionment and we all see how we want something to turn out and we all become very attached to the way something should turn out. And I told him it's not the attachment that's wrong, because I mean, how else, if it's something we care about, we're going to be emotionally invested in it. And what happens when you get emotionally invested with something is you're going to get attached. So you get attached to the outcome. And it doesn't go that way, and we get very frustrated, we get very angry. And sometimes it stops us completely. And after plans failing time after time after time again, or your expectations failing to be met, you're going to collapse to your knees and wonder what the fuck is going on. And I've started to realize that a plan is not the way to go. What I am going to invite you to do. Now again, a plan might work for you. So this is purely just an invitation if you find yourself in a similar situation that I find myself in. If you find that the plan, the expectations don't get met, I'm going to invite you to change the perception of the plan. The problem with the plan is you've limited the pathway. There's a million, billion, trillion fucking ways to get to where you want to be. There's multiple outcomes, opportunities, paths. I think anyone who's experienced quite a bit of life knows life is a lot of this. But we defy that knowledge completely when we look at the plan. Because the plan looks like this. It looks like this. Because that's how we envision our plan. But we forget that this is going to happen before we get to that. A to B. And we're thinking as long as we do everything that we're thinking that we're going to do here, we'll be at B. But what you don't know is that about 3 months into A, this is going to happen. And you're going to drop and drop and drop. You're going to have a setback. But it's going to set you up. And it's going to build character. But I don't want to get too far into that. I want to share this concept. You have limited the pathway and the vision to one out of so God knows how many outcomes could possibly be. And not only that, you resist the universe's guidance for you. And I don't like, and I say that with a sense of with caution, because I don't like to sit here and be like, oh, all this shit's going bad for you because it's what this has to happen for you to get where you want to be. I'm not going to say that. I'm not, that goes, it's not something that I like to say about people's pain and tragedies, where I want to be like, oh, that's going to happen, but that's okay because it's going to make you into this. That's not for me to even comment on. So, but what I am trying to explain here is that one limited pathway that you're seeing everything go. The problem with it is you get severely stunted. So when that punch from life does come, oh, you're going to get rocked. You get rocked so bad that because you become attached to the plan, you've limited any other way it could possibly happen. So then you wonder, what the fuck am I going to do? Oh, it's done for maybe, right? What I've learned is a plan has to be a guideline. We know where we're at, and we know the vision that has to manifest. And all that has to happen is we got to get to A to B. But we know what we got to do, but we are prepared for the fact that anything can happen. And we've got to be willing to be adaptable. That's the key. To shift. To allow the path that life is going to take us on to take us on. That's the truth. And that requires an element of courage and trust to let go of this one pathway vision, this tunnel vision as to the only way this can go, or the ideal way this would go. It takes a lot of courage to let that go and say, I'm going to let God take care of it. I know where I want to be, and if I'm praying to Him, if I know the vision, and I or whatever, you're saying your affirmations to the universe. Like I say, I just tend to use the terminology of the Christianity, the Catholics and all that stuff, right? I don't really box myself in to that label, but not because I don't like being a label, just, I'm more expansive than just Christian, right? But anyways, it takes a great act of courage and trusting within yourself and the higher power to be able to say, listen, this is what I feel, this is what I'm seeing it's going to be. But I know that can change. And I know any ounce of this could be different. And I know shit will happen. And I know what's going to look like this could quickly go like that. And then, boom, right? Twists and turns, setbacks, setups, opportunities that either go or don't go your way. You see what I'm saying? Rejections, acceptances, all that shit. It's a tough journey, and we've got to be willing to have the courage to allow the original plan to just be a guideline. It's just a general idea of what we're looking to achieve and how we're going to get there, but we keep in mind that anything can happen. And here's the thing, for me to become a filmmaker, I'm going to have to break into the film industry and to do all the things I want to do, I'm going to have to do something I've never done. That's a Denzel Washington quote. Not exactly, but that's inspired off of him. I'm going to have to become someone I haven't become before. And there's one man that's going to give me those opportunities. Right here. Lord and Savior, higher power. That I've got to be willing to yield. I've got to, I almost hate to say, detach a little bit from the plan. Let go of the attachment you have to that one vision. Let it be a guideline. Not the pure manifestation of what you have to see, but the understanding of where you want to go. And that in order for you to become the person to get from A to B, that He, power, high, whatever word you're going to use, is going to guide you, is going to mold you into the person that you have to become in order to fully manifest B. You will be a completely different person. It is a journey that will mold you, change you, and the courage comes in taking it, taking your steps. You want to know what success is? You understand what I'm really trying to say here? To get to B, it is not about the plan, but about the progressive realization of the vision, of the idea from here to here.